buddy Tracy Hackler with an incredibly special guest, LaDainian Tomlinson, new Hall of Famer.
Yes.
It's not often that we get Panini Unwrapped with a Hall of Famer. So thank you for being here,
Sure,
man.
my pleasure.
It's nice to reconnect. So I was telling LT before we started that I think the last time I've seen him in person was at the 2001 NFLPA Rookie Premiere. Many, many years ago. And that was your kind of first foray into trading cards. And what do you remember about that time?
You know what? It was, my life at that time was a whirlwind. Honestly, I just got drafted.
Yep.
And, you know, we were starting to do all this different appearances to kind of, you know, you had to do the shoots to kind of get the trading cards out in your uniform for the first time. The rookie cards, right?
Yeah,
as they say.
that's what people want.
And I just remember just so many things happening at that time, so many different photo shoots and different poses that they wanted. And I remember thinking, like, this feels weird. Like, I wonder how this card is going to turn out.
Yeah.
But it turned out great, and here we are, what, 16, 17 years later?
17 years later. And those cards you made that day are still some of the most, well, obviously the most in demand of your career.
Yeah.
People paying hundreds of dollars for them.
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
It feels great. You know, it feels really good to be a guy in demand, you know. And not only that, I was a kid, I should say, that collected all types of football cards. And as you know, as a kid, if you get a guy rookie card, especially an all-pro guy, then you have it forever. Like this treasure, you know. And so to be now one of those guys that kids look forward to getting a card, it's truly humbling, and so excited that, you know, kids want my card.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the kids of all ages are going to want your cards forever. Hopefully we pull some in here. But we thought we'd open. This is a Gold Standard and Pantheon, two of our newest products. You have cards in both of these products.
Okay.
Hopefully we're lucky enough to pull them. I'm going to use the blade because I don't want you to use the blade. You got a big week coming up.
Yeah.
And
that's a good idea.
If you cut yourself on my watch, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself. So that's Gold Standard.
All right.
A real fancy packaging.
Wow, that's nice.
And this is a product that has...
See, the packages didn't look like this when I was coming up. When I was a kid, the packages.
Right, and that wasn't that long ago. I mean, you know, it was 16 years ago, like you said, but that's an eternity.
No, I'm saying when I was a kid.
Oh, when
I was a kid back in
wax.
Late 80s. Yeah.
Growing up in Texas.
Yeah.
All right, so our first card, our Darius Stewart rookie for the Jets.
Yep.
That's a Alabama. Got Alabama.
Yep, I love that. The jersey worn.
Jersey.
Yeah, that's pretty
You've
cool.
got some of those from your rookie year.
Yep.
There's a Carlos Henderson of the Broncos.
Yep.
Again, and these autographs and the jerseys are both from the rookie premiere that you're so familiar with.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a Hall of Famer right there.
Oh, Jack Lambert. Wow, look at him. He's in the gold jacket.
I was just going to ask you about that. Now, you never had to face Jack Lambert.
No.
Luckily.
Yeah.
But what do you think about when you see that gold jacket, man?
Well, what I think about when I see the gold jacket is I can't wait to put it on, but the emotions that's going to be running through my body whenever I put it on, because I think about the journey, you know. It's been a long time coming, and now to be at this point. When
you obviously had to know, or at least everybody watching knew, that you were first opportunity Hall of Fame because your career was so decorated and so spectacular. When does it resonate with you that I'm going to get in?
You know what? Not until you get that knock at the door. Honestly, you know, a lot of people told me that, like, oh, you're going to get in, you know, first ballot, you're going to be there. But I wouldn't allow myself to think about that, because if I did, and for whatever reason I didn't get in, I would be so disappointed. And so I just said, you know what, let's wait and see. And I'll tell you, when I was waiting in that hotel room, it seemed like forever that I was waiting on the knock at the door. And finally, honestly, it was an hour later than when I was supposed to find out. Can you imagine? I'm thinking, like, I didn't make it. And then all of a sudden, the president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, David Baker, boom, 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 knock at the door, and the whole room erupted.
So
we knew
did you know? just by the knock alone that it was a good sign?
Yes, because what they tell you is if you get a knock at the door, that means you're in.
Oh,
if you get a phone call in the room, that means you didn't get in.
Yeah.
And so I'm just hoping, like, please, phone, don't ring. And ironically, a friend called me at that time on my phone, and I was, and my heart jumped and skipped a beat.
Yeah.
I looked at my phone, it was just my buddy.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, don't call me right now. I'm waiting on the Hall of Fame.
What's more nerve-wracking, that feeling or draft day?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, I think that Hall of Fame day, finding out, because at least when draft day, you know you're going somewhere. It's just about where.
Yeah.
But you know you're going. With the Hall of Fame, you really don't know if you're getting in at that time, or if you're gonna have to wait a year or 2 or 3. So I think definitely the Hall of Fame wait.
That's crazy. All right,
That's my guy.
Another Hall of Fame mate.
Yeah, Jerome Bettis. Bussy.
You got to see a lot of him.
Yeah.
You guys kind of, your careers mirrored each other a little bit or crossed over. There's a Pat Mahomes, who is that? Deontay Foreman and Josh Reynolds, triple mem.
Yeah.
And then there's Donta Freeman.
Dante Freeman.
What do you think about him?
You know what? I really
young
like his
running back.
versatility as a runner. He can run it. He can catch it. He's very explosive. And what I like is his mindset as a runner. Like, he finishes every run. He's a tough little guy. And he's really not little, but when most people look at him, they think he's a little guy. But he's certainly a tough competitor.
So you just said he was versatile. He could run, he could catch, he could finish strong.
Block.
It sounds a lot like you.
And that's why I like it, you know what I mean? Because he does remind me of myself. I enjoy watching running backs that can do a little bit of everything. You know, because at the end of the day, that's how you stay on the field.
For sure.
As a runner, you want to stay on the field. And if you're lacking in one area in terms of either pass blocking or catching the ball out the backfield, then you got to come out the field. And most runners don't want to come out the field.
You never. The only time you came off the field is if you needed a break.
Yeah, I need a ball.
All right, so we're going to open Pantheon real quick.
Okay.
And then I'm going to let you get out with the crowd. But I don't want to monopolize too much of your time.
This is fun.
Good. Well, I'm certainly enjoying it. So Pantheon, again, is this is more of a Legends focused product. So there's a lot of, and there's some rookies in here, but it's also Hall of Famers, and legends. And I would love to pull an LT card right now. So there's our rookie that we talked about. That's our Joshua Dobbs from
Tennessee.
Tennessee, yes, sir. A little auto men. Jordy
Nelson.
Big pass catcher.
I had Jordy in fantasy football last year. He did well for me. I appreciate it, Jordy. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Was it a PPR?
It is a PPR.
Okay,
yeah.
There's another guy who'd probably do pretty well for you.
Yeah,
Mike Evans?
Mike Evans, yeah. Yeah, I tried to draft him. I didn't get him, though.
I had him last year.
Yeah.
So speaking of fantasy, you were like a fantasy juggernaut when you played football. Like, you were like the #1 pick probably every year for about 6 or 7 years. Did you know that? I mean, fantasy's grown a lot. Oh, sure.
People, you know, everywhere I went at that time, it was, LT, I'm drafting you #1 in my fantasy, or it was, hey, I need 2 touchdowns this week. Dude, I would get so many calls from my friends, like, dude, I mean, you got to come through for me. I'm playing the #1 guy in our league, and I have you. I need 3 touchdowns. I'm like, dude, do you think this is like junior high football or something? I'm playing in the NFL. You want me to get 3 touchdowns, 150 yards? You know how we're playing Pittsburgh this week. You know how hard that's going to be?
But you usually did it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, big weekend coming up next weekend. You chose Lorenzo Neal to introduce you.
Yeah.
Why so?
Well, you know, Lorenzo was such a great teammate. And when I think about a lot of my record-breaking runs and touchdowns, he led me through the hole. Yeah. And, you know, he's such a selfless player. I mean, the guy blocked for like 7,000-yard rushers in his career. And he doesn't get a lot of credit. And for me to be at the biggest moment of my life going to the Hall of Fame, it's only right that he leads me into the Hall of Fame.
That's classy, man. That's speaking of selfless. Well, I'm going to let you go. But before I do, your touchdown celebration was real simple.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Basketball, I love basketball as well.
Okay.
So it was like the favorite sport of mine. And it was just a finger roll, you know, and you know, basically the first drill that you learn in basketball is how to do a layup. So it's the most simplest drill. So ultimately what I was saying when I scored was that it was so simple because I was able to do a finger roll. And so that's where it came from.
Well, if you wouldn't mind, would you do a finger roll with this box as we get out of here?
Absolutely.
Just how you used to do it? LaDainian Tomlinson, congratulations, man.
Thank you so
Best
much.
of luck next week and the rest. NFL Network is a must-watch. So Panini VIP Party awaits. We'll see you later.